Hello, my darlings. My name is Victoria, and this is Veritas Tarot. Aries, I'm going to do your reading for you this afternoon. I'm going to be focusing on where you are now energetically and what's coming in for you, things that Spirit want you to think about at this time. I'm going to be using my Energy Oracle deck, my Psychic Tarot, and most probably my Sun and Moon deck after that. Before I start, just a quick announcement and a reminder that my live is happening tonight at 9 p.m. GMT. That's 9 p.m. London time. So do check your time zones, particularly in the States, because I know the clocks went back this weekend. I have put in the description box of my live announcement the times, the relevant times in the States, various cities in the States. But if it's not there or you just want to check on Google, do that. I'm going to be doing the same thing as I did last week, which is do a general reading for those energies in the room and for those that are intended to watch the reading later. And then I'm going to take as many questions as I possibly can. I spent about I think it was about an hour and 40 minutes answering questions, pulling cards for people last Sunday, and it was great fun. So if you wish to join us tonight, please do so. 9 p.m. GMT, I'll go live at that time. Okay, my darlings, for Aries, this is for those that most need to hear these messages. If the reading resonates, it was for you at this time to help you remember what you already know. And if it doesn't resonate, it simply means it wasn't for you at this time. There'll always be a message out there for you, darling, at exactly the right time that you need it, as guided by Spirit. But this is for Aries, for those that most need to hear these messages. The cards are flipping, so let's see what comes out. Okay, we've got Rest and Rejuvenation, and we've got Attachment on the bottom of the deck. So first of all, I want to talk about the Attachment card. This is 5, and 5 represents change at this time. So whatever's happening at the moment, there is a need within you, and you may be feeling it or battling against it. There's a need within you to let go. Now, this is a choice that you can make, my darling. You can hold on and hang on, or you can let go. And when we hold and hang on to things, we're trying to control it out of fear of losing it. But you know, life, everything about life is fleeting, and every moment in life is fleeting. Nothing is ours to hold on to. And 5 talks about change. Sorry about that. There's always change happening in our life. And sometimes that path of change is stopped by our strong attachments to either people or old patterns of behavior. And those old patterns of behavior, those conditioned ways of thinking, are things that can go back, right back to our childhood. And so Spirit is asking you at this time to try and have faith and try and have trust that you need to let go of outcomes here. You need to let go of people, because anybody or anything that's destined to be in your life or is to remain in your life will come in or will remain. If it's not, it will disappear. And the more you try and hold on to it and cling on to it, the more you're causing yourself pain at this time. And it's also a fear that you may have about the future. What will your life be like without this? But if we knew what every step of our journey was going to be, it wouldn't create within us that sense of potential of what we have, a sense of adventure, a sense of expectation with excitement. So try and observe within yourself what you may be attached to at this time. And you know, my darling, when you let go of things, when you let go and let God, when you give everything over to God's hands, the universe's hands, the omniverse's hands, you start to see God, the universe, the omniverse's hands in everything. And there is a sense of relief in letting go, because you're not trying to control it. And controlling it just causes you pain, you anxiety, you more fear. Letting go, even for a moment or two, brings in a feeling of relief. And so one of the things Spirit is asking you to do is to say, I let go and let God. I let go and I let God, and I trust that whatever is meant to be happening for me will happen for me for my greatest good. And I embrace whatever change is happening in my life. I embrace all of it. So, and this takes courage, and it takes effort, and it takes willpower, because we are, for the most part, have an addiction to the way we feel about things. We have an addiction to the way we do things. We are repetitive by nature, but that is because it's conditioned behavior. And so this has been a moment, an opportunity for you to step away from that, to not repeat cycles. but to kind of renew yourself and step forward, having released things that no longer serve you. And then you've got this beautiful card here, number 19, Rest and Rejuvenation. So within this space of letting go and letting God and handing control over, this is going to give you more peaceful time. This is more time for you to sit in a space of stillness. When we think thoughts, we feel feelings. We're not those thoughts and feelings. Have you noticed that? We're not that thought. We're not that feeling. We are observing ourselves having that thought or feeling. So who is it that is observing? That's your higher self. That's your soul. That's divine source energy. You are the unobserved observer, the unwatched watcher, because the universe is experiencing through you having a soul's physical experience. So that may help you at this time. And it's asking you to sit in the stillness, to meditate. Your mind will never make sense of this, because your mind only can retain information from this lifetime, from what it's been taught, told, stories you've told yourself, generally most of it judgmental and critical. And so you have to get out of your mind. You literally have to be out of your mind to start to make sense of it. And the place to make sense of it is the stillness, in being the I am, and sitting in the present moment, in meditating, in accepting who you are and where you are right now is where you are meant to be. And this is going to allow you, if you can insert this sort of beautiful, gentle activity in your life, being more being rather than doing, 10, 15 minutes a day, it's going to be very, very I'm getting the word productive for you, but it's going to allow you to shift so much and to receive so much, where before you had confusion, now you're going to have clarity. You have gone through a broken heart. I can see this at the bottom of the deck here. And this is a very painful place to be in, where you've suffered grief, you've suffered loss, it can be a very empty space, but there is deep healing that's needed at this time, my darling. And rather than make somebody else the cause for your broken heart, accept within you that this has been given for you to shift and grow and evolve. This is an opportunity for you to come into the greatest, grandest version of who you are, my darling, and that is extraordinary. And this deep level doing, this deep level healing is needed, but it can only happen when you allow it, when you release attachments to things and release laying blame on somebody else's door, because everybody has a soul path. And maybe this broken heart, the soul, the person that gave you this broken heart, their soul's gift to you, my darling, was for you to evolve, for you to transcend, to you to become enlightened. And it's a place where, if you have so much hurt within you, it has to come out of you, my darling. That is dis-ease within you. And to come out of you, if it stays within you, it can manifest into physical problems, disease within you. So try and get it out of you. And it's not necessarily about venting it to people and laying blame at people's doors, which is a very natural thing to do when we are very hurt and wounded, but rather to reach down deep within you and pull out, what is the feeling behind the feeling behind the feeling? What is the cause of this? Where is this trigger within you coming from? And sometimes the best way of doing that is I can't, thank you, Spirit, is letter writing, but unconscious letter writing. You don't send it to the person. You don't even read it back yourself, because you're taking back in those energies. You simply put pen to paper, not typing. Has to be pen to paper. And you write unconsciously, you write subconsciously, you write without thinking, and you allow these feelings to come out. And you may find that the letter isn't actually about who you think it's about other stuff that's happened before in your life, and it's coming up. So just get it all out, and then don't read it, because you're taking that energy back in. Burn it and release it to the universe, release it to God, and say, thank you, God, thank you, universe, for helping me to understand that this problem has already been solved for me, that I am healing, that I am learning, I am letting go, and I am allowing now. I do not have resistance. I am letting go. Letting go is such an extraordinary thing to do. And I repeat it, if you can do it, even just for a few moments, to breathe in and breathe out and take a sigh of relief and say, I'm handing this over to you, God. Thank you for taking care of this for me. And just bring yourself into the present moment as much as possible. The broken heart is also a message for you about having compassion and understanding for yourself, my darling. Accepting who you are right now, which is amazing, not who you think you should be or who you think somebody else wants you to be or where you think you should be. It's about being where you are right now and accepting exactly who you are, because there's nothing else. There's nowhere else that you should be right now than where you are right now. I keep saying where you are right now a lot, but and it's about self-care, which is so important, because how you project energy towards yourself is also how it's going to be projected out to others and how you receive it too. And you have to put yourself first. If you can't love yourself, then the energy you're giving out is one of, well, if I can't love myself, then how is anybody else meant to love me? So you attract that into your life. And self-care is also not, it's not stepping into somebody else's energy space to try and force them to see you as you are, or trying to explain to somebody else who you are when they're very much focused on a path of misunderstanding you. That is their space. Respect their space, respect your space. As long as you understand where you are, that's the most important thing. So this is self-care for you at the time, and this is going to lead, my darling, to the doorway to spirit. And the doorway to spirit is this beautiful place of you having an awakening, you going through this enlightenment process. It's new beginnings, it's a peaceful place, it's acceptance of who you are, it's being in the moment. And there are orbs in this card, let me show you, that are guiding you at this time to a greater understanding of what has happened and yourself too. But you have to let go and release in order to bring it in. You have to allow it. You have to allow it, because if you're not allowing it, spirit, there's resistance there with spirit bringing it in towards you. And one of the says is just saying, thank you for helping me to understand. There are changes happening deep within you. This is a real deep level doing for you at this time. And as you go through this healing power, you're going to be aware of, we all have these extraordinary gifts, but it's allowing ourselves to be aware of them too. There's going to be an increased power, empowerment within you about your intuition, about what your spiritual gifts are, what is your creative expression that spirit has given you. So let's move forward for this reading. And I also want you to, I've got hostilities on the bottom of the deck here. So I want you to try and stay away from negative, defensive, aggressive behavior at this time. People that cause pain to other people will be in pain themselves, and they're seeing life through their cloudy lens of life. Equally, from a 5D spiritual sense, every soul has chosen a path, and sometimes those that cause us the greatest pain are our greatest teachers, and that is their soul's intent. That's their gift to us. But if someone is being critical to you at this time, if someone is being, verbally, emotionally attacking to you at this time, do not feel the need to retaliate and come back. Do not feel the need to retaliate immediately from an ego, pain, body place. Silence sometimes is the best answer for people that have chosen not to understand you. And you don't need to be accepted by anybody else. This is your life path, your life journey. And the message, if you wish to talk, then talk from your higher self. Say thank you for the right words. Allow your mind to quieten and your soul to come forth. And know that whatever message you give, it doesn't really matter how the message is received. It might be a consideration for you how it's received, but it's how you speak it, because in speaking it from the right space, from your higher self space, not from an ego pain body space, you will receive that insight, that foresight, that knowing, that peace, that clarity as you speak it. But you may have been, this is this space of letting go, of trying to make this happen, trying to fix this, trying to make this right. You can't fix another. You can't heal another. The only person is yourself. And if there's nothing that's changing, it's because it's not meant to change. This whole experience is for you to go through the letting go and the evolving and the freeing yourself of feeling that you have to hold on to this, you have to make this work. You can do something, you can help them. No, my darling, that is not what this is about. And it's time for you to come into a space where you're releasing so much that you'll realize how much you've been walking on eggshells, how much you've been trying so hard without maybe probably a big imbalance in what they've been doing and you've been doing. And it's time for you to regain control, but from a beautiful higher self space of control in your life, not trying to control another. It's about stepping into your own empowerment at this time and releasing another from your expectations. Because, darling, when we have expectations of something, we generally have disappointments, because it's with the understanding that nobody thinks how we do. And if we have expectations of somebody and they can't be that person, then we're just causing ourselves pain. So when we give something or somebody a meaning, we assign something or somebody a meaning, nothing has any meaning other than what we think it is, how we observe it. So if we're observing it from a lens of life, that I want this, but it hasn't come to me, then there is a lack of within you. And this is why Spirit's doing, and this lack of we all go through. I'm only talking from my own experiences. I had to learn self-love because my relationships were over and over and over again, the same cycle of me looking for love outside of myself. But how could I look for it outside of myself when I didn't even love me? So there is, and big changes happen in your life to cause that, to help that to happen. So let's move forward and look at this psychic tarot. You know, and you may have heard me say this before, my darling, but when you assign somebody else as your source of happiness, you are instantaneously labeling them and assigning them as your source of sorrow. And so release them from that. They're not responsible for your happiness, only you are. And in doing that, you empower yourself. So let's move forward and look at this psychic tarot for you. This is a big change you're going through, my darling. It's a big change, and it's a beautiful change. And look, we've got the 4 of Cups and the 8 of Cups has flown out for you. So the 4 of Cups is on the bottom of the deck. It is a time for you to accept yourself exactly as you are, darling. There's nothing that you could have done differently or should have done differently. You are amazing as you are. You are amazing as you are. And having no regrets and having no releasing regrets or sadnesses of missed opportunities means that you're accepting exactly who you are, not who you're meant to be, not who you think you ought to be for somebody else, or I should have done this, I wish I hadn't done that, if I had been this, if I had been that, this wouldn't work. No, my darling, this journey is about you accepting who you are right now and loving yourself for it, and also giving yourself a pat on the back for having had the courage to go through what you have done, and to be sitting here allowing yourself to listen and willing to understand and to evolve. It's you're moving on. This is the 8 of Cups. This is the moving on, because wherever you were, my darling, whatever it was for you, Spirit has urged you to let go, to move on, to allow, if it's meant to be in your life, it will come back into your life, but it'll come back with a completely different energy, because that'll be the energy you're projecting at the time, one of self-love. So you are moving on now, and God is with you. God is with you. You may not feel that God is with you at this time, but he is with you. He's carrying you at this time. He's with you every step of the way. Talk to him. He always, always replies in weird and wonderful ways, sometimes directly through your highest thought, through your clearest word, sometimes through others. He sends messengers. Listen, if anything resonates with you, whether it is a person or something you're hearing, watching on TV, and it resonates completely, it's God talking to you. So let's move forward and see what else was just, yes, thank you, Spirit. What's coming in for Aries? Thank you. So now you've got this 9 of Wands, this rest and reconsider. So this is, you've gone through cycles and cycles, and I think a lot of it, like so many people, has been a repetition of things. You've repeated things, you've reacted to things the same way for so long, and now this is different, and you're starting to see that you want something different. You want to reconsider how your life should be. You don't want to have the same thing happen. So you step forward with that willingness, and the universe is responding. That's what you've been putting out. I deserve better. I deserve better. So this is this space of the Eight of Wands, the rest and reconsideration. You are understandably emotionally exhausted and tired, and you need to give yourself as much self-care as you can at the moment. Do whatever you wish to do at this time that's for yourself. Don't be pulled into things if you don't want to do it. Learn to say no. This is a time for you to spend with yourself, learning how to get to know yourself, but also learning how to receive the answers that are within you, coming in through your intuition, your soul, that intuition, that foresight. And so this is that time for you, and it's going to bring in this beautiful new vitality for you. This is the Ace of Wands. There is something that you love to do. There is something that brings you joy, and Spirit is saying, do it at this time. That's your creative expression, my darling. And your creative expression is an individual representation of who you are as a soul having a physical experience. Your creative expression is a way for God, your soul, to talk to you. So whatever it is that you love to do, you're drawn to do, you imagine doing, do it step by step. Just do a little bit here and there. Each little pebble moves a mountain. So just keep doing it, because that creative expression in that present moment, you're representing yourself with a very high vibration. And representing is you're literally representing who you are energetically in that moment. In a beautiful creative, we were created to create. So I hope that makes sense for you. And go with, and you've got here number 10, go with the flow now. This is the Wheel of Fortune. Now, when we hang on to outcomes, when we hang on to things that we want to happen, we are pulling on the wheel, we're hanging on the spokes of the wheel, and it's causing things to happen in an unnatural, unbalanced way. And it kind of slows things down. So stand in the center of the wheel. Imagine yourself observing it all happening for you, and stand in the center of the wheel and just see it turn, and you won't experience so many ups and downs. A very wise friend said to me about what we're looking to manifest and create is a little bit like a mother in a kitchen cooking supper for her child. And she's creating supper. The child is hungry. So the child comes in and says, can I help, Mummy? Because if they help, they're going to speed up the process. And the mother smiles and says, of course you can, darling. And they get involved in helping make the supper. But the child doesn't know quite what they're doing sometimes and makes a few mistakes. And so supper takes a little bit longer to arrive. So the message is kind of stay out of the kitchen. Let Mother Nature, the universe, take care of this. Because if you allow things to unfold the way they're meant to, they're going to be so perfect for you. And the Wheel of Fortune is also a message for you that expect the unexpected. Expect things to go not quite as you planned, but as the universe has planned. And that plan of the universe, is a little wink with this attached, is for the next greatest, grandest version of who you are, my darling. And it's for you to step into the full, amazing beauty of who you are. So just be in touch with your emotions, go with the flow, let go and let God. And even if you try it for a few days, almost as an experiment, you will be amazed at what happens if you let go and let God. So there we are, my dog. Oh, I'm just going to pull you one more card from my, sorry about, it's not my dog's barking, but the next door dogs are barking. Sorry if you can hear that. Thank you, Spirit. One more card for you. The Three of Pentacles. In doing all of this, my darling, you are creating a whole new extraordinary foundation for yourself, one based on your creative expression, one based on your joy, your happiness, your self-love. This is so important for you, because once you come into that space, really appreciating and loving yourself, you have created the strongest foundation of all, and you don't need others to fulfill you. All you want to do is share in the love that you feel for yourself, but everybody, because you understand that everybody is simply all is one soul. It's the omniverse, it's the universe. We're all connected energetically. And so this Three of Pentacles, whatever it is, my darling, you do things very differently something that you're doing is your own particular gift. So I'm not quite sure what that is, but the Spirit is saying it's something amazing. It's the Ace of Wands. That is your creative expression. It's time to let go. It's time to let go of where you think you want to be and who you want to be, whatever strong attachment there is to somebody, something, an outcome, whatever, let it go. If it's meant for you, it'll be with you. It'll remain with you or come in for you. You are being asked at this time to focus on your creative expression and to have that faith and trust that this is your soul's path, and everything and everybody that you need will come in along to you along the way. So my darlings, I hope that has resonated and helped with whoever has come to listen to this reading. I hope as many of you as possible can join me tonight at 9 o'clock GMT time for live reading and question and answers, an evening with Spirit. Otherwise, I will look to do another reading for you before the end of the month, and then I'll be doing the 2022 readings moving into December. So much love at this time. Bye-bye.